Welcome to the French Drain Man channel. I'm Robert Sherwood, your host, and I want to talk about air pruning. Air pruning has been around for decades. In the nursery business, it's practiced all the time so that you don't have root-bound plants. You want to sell a plant to a customer, a homeowner, or a landscaper that doesn't have a root-bound root ball. So you have to allow the roots to grow out into the air and just literally dry out and fall off. So say a container with holes in it. That's a perfect example of something that would do air pruning. Well, we've kept a lot close to our vest. And the reason for that being is we really do feel like we have no competition in our field, what we do. Having said that, the more we show, the more we educate what could potentially be competition. So I just want to explain that. So for years, we've been doing these stacks. When we used to run just one pipe, just one single pipe, by an arborvitae hedge, these aggressive cedars, we would give the homeowner a stack and say, look, on windy days, on hot summer days that are windy, point this thing in the direction that the wind is blowing out from so that you can gather all that hot air, that wind, that summer breeze. So point this into the wind, and it would literally dry those cedar roots that would try to, get down into your French drain system during the rainy season. It would dry them right out, and they would just fall off. They just become dust. And then the next rainstorm, it flushes them out. Now, of course, our blind inlets, they offer some ventilation for sure. There's some venting there. But the reason why I'm showing this is something that we would do before we had the high-octane yard drain pipe. So once we came up with the French Drain Man's high-octane yard drain pipe manufactured by the Baughman Tile Company that has more inlet than any other pipe in the world, once we started to experiment with quad packs, tri-packs and quad packs, we realized, oh my God, the system, it air prunes without any assistance, without a stack. So that's why I showed you some old video that was from several years ago on how we used to just vent through stacks and blind inlets. And I would just want to go over why the quad pack works so well so that tree roots don't survive. There's so much air, there's so much inlet in the high octane yard drain pipe that the roots can't survive. Once the rain event is over, the system dries out so quick because of all the air movement. There's a lot of airflow. Wherever you run your French drain system, whether it's a ditch, storm drain, you're going to get ventilation. You no longer have to use a stack. We used to only show this to our clients at the end of the job, and we would leave it with them. It was super easy for them just to go ahead and hook it into the system, and it would be an area that we would use for a clean out if iron auk or something like that would end up inside the system. So it benefited us that way. But we no longer have to do these stacks that we point into the wind. We no longer have to do this for homeowners. We're now building the quad pack. The quad pack creates so much void. There's so much open space, and there's so much air movement between the giant inlets in the high octane yard drain pipe that it dries out any roots that try to find their way into your French drain system. So these are things that we have learned in the last couple of years, and we're sharing it with everybody. We're letting them know that the quad pack takes care of all your concerns with roots. If you build your system to where it daylights and it empties the trench out and it leaves no water behind, and you build it with 4 pipes, you have a quad pack tied together, and then you go ahead and lay stone on the system, especially if it's stone that's 1.5 inches. Now, if you don't have round rock in your area, 1.5 inch limestone is fine. It's going to drain like a sieve, man. I've used it in a pinch when our materials dry up. Every once in a while, the quarry that we're purchasing from, they end up running out of product. And until another vein is found, we have to use, whatever's available. So I've used 1.5 inch limestone in the past, and it drains great. So if you can't find the round rock, which will give you larger voids, and then there's no risk of compaction, limestone works dynamite. Now, the lime in the limestone is a problem wherever you discharge the water. So keep that in mind. If you discharge it in a ditch, you might wonder why it's killing some of the grass, and that's the lime. So I'm just trying to help some of the homeowners out. But the airspace that a quad pack creates, and then the air movement that all these inlets. Now, there's a quad pack right there tied together. The guys, this is classic for us right here. Got a quad pack. We're using a trench that is 18 inches wide, and it's 16 inches deep for the quad packs. And this rips and roars. It's insane how fast it dries a yard out. It really dries out the yard so much faster because of all the airspace, because of all the ventilation. The yard's going to tighten up quickly. The yard's probably never going to get to that saturated, soft, really, really, spongy. Now, if it's a 2-inch rainfall or greater, you're going to have to expect that that's going to cause the yard to be a little spongy, but you would be shocked on how fast a quad pack will dry that out. It'll dry the subsurface soil out so quick, and it'll tighten up that yard so fast. It's truly incredible. So we have been sharing more and more of our experiences with the quad pack. We started out with the quad pack for on-site storage, for when there was a backup in the storm drain or ditch. We wanted on-site storage. And then, through just months and now 2 full seasons of using this pipe and running cameras in it, we're seeing roots that are just dried right off, just dust, waiting for the next rain event to be carried away. So air pruning, you can look it up. You can do your own research. But yes, a quad pack is building your yard drain, French drain system so that you don't ever have to worry about roots. Now, we pride ourselves in building the only maintenance-free French drain. If you watch other channels, they have more videos on maintenance, on cleaning their systems out. Why is that? Well, because they build their systems to allow tree roots to survive and thrive. And they also build their system to where over time they just quit working. They work a little less each year until one year they don't work at all. All right, everybody. Until that next video.